Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Let's Play Warframe. I'm your host of the most, as always, Francois878, and today we are going to be talking about the brand new gunblade known as the Sarpa. This gunblade being introduced in the most recent update, the Silver Grove. Now, this weapon, when it was first teased during a dev stream a few months ago, I saw it and I'm like, this is my new favorite melee weapon. It's sexy, it's sleek, it's got that Tenno feel, it's got the Soma magazine on the top. It's the person who designed it should get a medal. It's beautiful. Unfortunately, when it was released, what we have is a side grade to the Redeemer, and calling it a side grade may be giving it a little bit too much credit. I'm going to talk about the basic stats for the weapon and what I don't like about the weapon, and then the good things about the weapon. And somewhere in the middle we'll talk about the Forma build that I'm going to show you guys. The basic stats for this weapon are as follows. It deals 70 physical damage, primarily in slash. It has 1.5 crit damage, 5% chance to crit, 10% status chance, and a 1.0 attack speed. Now, when you look at the base stats, the Redeemer is actually not quite as good. It deals 60 physical damage and has a slower attack speed. From the outside, it looks like the Sarpa is actually better. But what the base stats don't tell you is the spread of the Sarpa's shots, both non-charged combo shots and charged shots, are actually, the spread of those shots is the same as the Redeemer, A. B, the charged shots for the Sarpa do not inherit damage buffs from elemental mods, like the Redeemer does. Now, the first thing about the spread is the Redeemer has a large spread because it's a shotgun. It fires 10 pellets, it rounds out the spread very nicely, and it's very reliable. The Sarpa has the same spread, except it has 5 shots. So you have no idea where the 5 rounds for a charged shot from the Sarpa are going to land, making it much harder to consistently not only land headshots, but even shots, period. I've been 5 feet away from a guy and tried to hit a charged shot and missed completely. It's really, really unfortunate. Now, as far as straight-on damage goes, in the simulator tests that I ran, the Sarpa and the Redeemer actually kill at the same rate. I was able to kill 5 level 50 corrupted heavy gunners in the same amount of time with both weapons. However, because the Sarpa's spread on the charged shots are so bad, I had to be significantly closer to the heavy gunners in order to guarantee that my shots were going to hit. So right now, it's not good. I think a good way to fix the Sarpa would just be to tighten up that spread a little bit on the shots so you could more reliably go for headshots, and this weapon could be a little bit more of a crit-based, mechanically it could be more of a crit-based weapon. And I think that would be a good thing. However, right now, it's just not great. If it inherited elemental damage from mods that were equipped, that would also be just swell. Now, those are the not-so-great things about this weapon. What I do like about this weapon is the... Oh, well, we're going to talk about the builds. Surprise, JK. This here is going to be the first build I show you guys. It's going to be pretty basic. Primed pressure point or pressure point, obviously, for damage. I also have life strike on there for health regen. I also put 2 offensive mod polarities on there if you guys are curious. I have blood rush and body count on here, which are 2 acolyte mods. That is because I love getting high combos with this weapon, and high combos means extra crit chance when you have blood rush on. And even though the weapon is only at 5% crit chance, it still gives you a better shot at landing a crit if you have those two mods going together. Now, the second build here is a little different if you don't have the Acolyte mods. I've got Spoiled Strike and Fury on there. That is just to give you more damage without having to rely on a combo multiplier, as well as if you just don't have the Acolyte mods, that gives you something else to shoot for. Fury can obviously be replaced with Primed Fury as well, if you happen to have it. Now, I went with as many 90% elemental damage mods as possible for this weapon. Damage is much more important than status chance, because this weapon, the innate status chance is just not good enough to try and build an entire to build around, and I feel like I hit status effects fairly frequently with it, despite the weapon not inheriting damage from elemental mods for some reason. I'm not sure. But what I like about this weapon, and what makes this weapon better than the Redeemer in a very narrow way, is that because the Sarpa is a burst fire weapon, it is much better against nullifiers. In fact, at a level 50 nullifier, I can kill in 2 charged shots with the Sarpa, whereas with the Redeemer, it took 6. So it is considerably better in that regard. If you're looking for a solid weapon to kill nullifiers very quickly, if you're worried about it, if you're playing a Corpus mission or Corpus sortie, or you're running some relics and you have to deal with corrupted nullifiers, the Sarpa is the go-to gunblade, hands down. And that, it doesn't make it better than the Redeemer. However, it does make it more niche, I guess. It does do something that the Redeemer can't, so that is a good thing. Now, the other cool thing about the Sarpa isn't directly having to do with the Sarpa itself, but it is the new stance that came out with it, Bullet Dance, which is unfortunately not the gameplay you're seeing. The gameplay that you're seeing here is of High Noon, which is the original Gunblade stance. Now, the new stance is still very wonky from what I've heard. However, if you can pull off the particular combos that people online seem to have a lot of trouble with, it's actually a very rewarding stance. Now, I say it's wonky because when you go and put it on the Redeemer, it's still it's very broken. It's a little janky. I've had reports of people being able to fire the Redeemer full auto, and granted with a damage nerf, but they were able to achieve full auto with the Redeemer when running a Bullet Dance. So that seems slightly broken to me. Full auto shotguns always are, though. So that's pretty much all I have to say on the Sarpa right now. I really hope that the spread gets tightened up a little bit. I think that would make this weapon shine so much more, and still, you know, it would be an absolutely a side grade to the Redeemer. It wouldn't be a direct upgrade, but, you know, if you could more consistently nail headshots with this weapon and fight nullifiers much more effectively, I think it could potentially be a much more solid weapon, and a weapon that gets taken out of the Lisette more often. But thank you guys very much for coming and listen to me ramble about the new Gunblade for 10 minutes. I appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more Warframe-related content coming very soon. We're going to be taking a look at the new Pox secondary, as well as Tatiana coming in later days here. And until next time, I've been your host of the most, as always, Francois878, signing off.